We are back, I think. Hello, Twitch chat. Can you hear us? Are we regular?
Yes, we are audible on stream.
Lovely.
We're good? Excellent.
You're
So,
right. We would never be regular. We're just audible.
We do also have a donation to read out from before the break.
Yes. Thank you to Matthew Goose for the $25. Meant to donate during Fathom, but I've been trapped in meetings all day. Currently proctoring a quiz. Thanks for all you're doing and have fun. Thank you, Matthew. And thank you everyone for donating to PCRF. There's a link in the chat right now. You should donate. It's a good cause.
I agree. Moving forward, you guys enter Clatter's Hall. I'll lean on you, Thicket. What is, you described the vibe being like rusted and ancient. And then you described the ritual as before entering a tomb. So I imagine that walking into here, the air is very musty and heavy. It's like a big open area room that at the center of a giant figure is sort of messing with like maybe like a circular pool, um, and something, messing with like something ethereal therein. Uh, what is the what is Flatter's like? Um, what would you say Clatter's like mythical form would look like? Like how is he depicted in stories and mythology?
I'm stealing one of your other ideas from the other players, real quick. I think. Are y'all familiar with the way that like old archaeologists would put together bones incorrectly for dinosaurs?
Yes.
And make these like wildly inaccurate dinosaur recreations?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clatter is like basically a collection of fossils of various creatures, and not just dinosaurs. I think we're talking like there's fossilized insects, there's fossilized plants, there's like all these different living creatures, in the oldest forms that they could possibly be in, that have all kind of amalgamated into this strange looking amorphous shape. Um, and I think is covered in, and the thing that connects all these bones and that like covers a lot of these is just like dried mud, like old stone, and I think almost looks in like an animated pile, like not even like a discernible creature shape, but just kind of a mass with these like writhing bits.
And this writhing mass turns to your group's direction, and these like bright, kind of like pale green cyan eyes light up when they see you. And a like swirl of mist and smoke condenses and coalesces into like a whirlwind around them. And from that whirlwind, we hear a voice. Hey, it's my favorite little cleric! And out pops the condensed version of Clatter, a 4.5 foot tall, small pile of human bones, wearing like a mud t-shirt and stone jeans as he walks out of the swirling mist. Open arms.
Jay DeVito!
You actually made it here. I can't believe it. I mean, I've been seeing Vice's broadcast of you folks, wandering around the Realis system, but I didn't think you were actually gonna make it here. Come on, come in, make yourselves at home. I see you already set up the ritual for him, so please, Mikasa Sukasa, and welcomes you in. I think pulls up. There's like the mist reveals like a dining room table and some chairs with, not really food set out, um, just like bone decorations and maybe a candle that he lights. So,
I think
tell me, what's your journey been like? What, I mean, why visit little old me?
I have to be true to I always doubt being crossed out. Uh, I
Yep.
this is the god. I think I do what he says. I sit down and um I take out um a I think it's almost a oh god, what are those called? The shells, the really like god. Like
Ammonite
the
Fossils?
ammonite, thank
or
you. Yes, I take out an ammonite shell, like a fossilized ammonite shell, and I like looking at the ground, just like pass it over in tribute first and foremost. This is the oldest item that that Thicket has in his possession right now.
Clatter just eats it.
Uh,
Oh wow, Thicket, this is really something. And he grabs it and sort of like pops open his like humanoid rib cage and sort of like attaches it to something inside, closes it shut, and goes, I really appreciate the gift. That's getting added to the collection. Um, so I mean, like I said, make yourselves at home. Tell me, I know you folks have been here trying to like, muck about and all this cycle business. I just been so curious, Cladda. You've been traveling around the system, trying to help folks work with this clasp group. I mean, please, I'm so curious. I'm stuck here in the horizon or whatever. I mean, I gotta know. What's it like out there? Do people appreciate what we're doing in here? I mean, and sort of like looks to you.
I think Thicket is like lost for words at the current moment, um, and looks to Fault.
Ooh.
You already sat down and took a chair, right?
I think whatever chair Clatter would have motioned to. I think that Thicket does not want to lie, but does not have it within himself to tell the truth at the current moment.
um
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about because Thicket is kind of trapped here right now in a way because doubt is crossed out. Um and I am thinking about something with my bond with Thicket to kind of help engage with this in a way that is a little bit more like, hey bro, we're not just here to support you, or like kind of thing
Mhm.
towards Clatter, but I'm not sure exactly what that looks like narratively, maybe to like lean on that, but I think like this is because like Reset is kind of being has kind of been being dragged along in um his like crisis of faith, and like in this abrupt like now that we're in it and like engaging with it, and then um Thicket has kind of like stalled like in a kind of like we're dragging each other both along sort of way for answers.
Mm. This what if this is a check again? Well, I guess it wouldn't be against me.
Yeah, like I guess what am I trying to achieve is like is this like this this form that Clatter is taking with us? Is this really what this is? Like not like I don't know that my goal is to like reveal that now, but like to push on just accepting like yeah, this is just a deity and this is just exactly how he is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a
Is
means
that
you're pulling
a-
on to make that happen?
Is do I not pull on bonds in the same way?
You can.
They can pull on bonds.
Yeah, I
Bonds you
think
can
my
use as a means, or you can use like against that person, or you can use them just in general, like if you want to affect something else in line
what do you
with
mean
wanting to
against
like
that
something like.
person?
I want to say that if you used a means to narrow intent against somebody else, they could also use a means to try and counter you as though they were kind of like the DM. Same thing of like defender,
Yeah,
breaks ties, etc.
but yes, but I can't like use this bond against the other person in the bond in to like help them, I guess necessarily.
It's not like a special mechanical thing, but you can use it
Mhm.
as a means. So if you want to
Yeah.
accomplish, if you want to push Thicket to do this thing and used that bond as the means, it would then be up to Thicket to decide to try and block that or to go along with your narrative intent.
Okay.
I believe,
I
having not read the rules.
I have read the
If I am
rules, and that
incorrect,
is how
please.
that works.
Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah, maybe this is me using the bond against Thicket in a way that isn't like to negate the fact that they have or that he has doubt crossed out, but to like push him into not uh how do I phrase this in
You're
a way
giving
that isn't
Thicket confidence, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't think that this can be used to essentially override that. I'm like what direction can I encourage him in that isn't necessarily doubt, but it is like maybe it's like more towards curiosity and wanting to know because that's my like that's why I've been chasing him is the curiosity about my shit sort of thing. So maybe leaning on that bond to push him towards curiosity that overrides that lack of doubt that he can act
Thick,
on right now.
Thicket
There's an element of it
realizes that
too.
other people here also have questions about Clatter, notably Reset, and that he's in the best place to ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I think that's very apt.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna use my zero bond towards you. Um, if you would like to counter, or can the GM also counter? Or is that fully on you if I'm targeting you? How's that work?
Any other actor in the scene can counter sentences.
Gotcha.
But just to clarify, you are sort of using your presence to bolster and give confidence to Thicket in this moment.
Yeah, because I think we'll get the furthest with him interacting with Clatter, because Clatter seems amenable to him, and no, he knows better than we do about Clatter, I think. So yeah, like trying to bolster him to help in this situation, essentially.
So with the
I
ghostly
don't
hand on your
counter that.
shoulder, Thicket,
Yeah. I don't
um,
counter that.
and I think in this scene what we get is once folks have sat down at this old rotten dinner table, he
Fault is
doesn't
not
sit down
seen.
quite yet and says, Sorry, I just gotta take care of one thing really quick." And this table was set sort of beside the pool he was mucking about with, and there are a bunch of a little, similarly pale cyan uh, forms that look like tadpoles, and that he sort of like makes a motion to, and they seem to be making this like hourglass or almost like lava lamp esque motion and direction from the base of a pool in the floor that you guys are on up far above to another pool of water that seems to be suspended in the air on the ceiling. And these figures are just moving back and forth between those two pools, seemingly at Clatter's uh, sort of direction. And then Clatter turns back and he goes, "Ah, all right, that's taken care of. That should hold for a bit. Um, anyway, as you were saying,
Well, um, I think feeling this like spectral hand on my shoulder, I think I recognize that even if I do not have doubt right now, if I can't hold that in myself, that I do have a responsibility as like a community member, as a person who's like part of a wider like group of people in Realis, um, that I have a responsibility to my community and my friends to talk about the things that need to be talked about and to utilize the things that I'm afforded to that end. And right now, that affordance is that Clatter is speaking to me. Um, well, um, we have been doing our best to impact the world in a way that I believe will benefit Realis as a whole. And I, of course, have spread the many teachings of divinity that can best fit to the needs of community. But all the same, there are many questions that people have had that still sit with me. Um, the foremost of which regards the purpose of stagnation for those who could one day be in a better state.
Clatter like looking at you, nodding, like, "Oh no, yeah, I totally get that." Um, I I think they're missing the bigger picture because, uh, I'll direct your attention to my little workshop here, and he sort of motions at the two interconnected pools. Um, now this right here, thanks to a bit of assistance from Agnum, I've been able to make sure that souls in Realis stay in Realis. So folks of similar fate, and he's moving his hands up, and these souls appear to be moving up towards the top. They, we don't have to worry about anyone getting forgot about or anyone going missing ever again. And he sort of seems to mention that with the weight of someone who has maybe lost something. Um, and in this motion, you see someone who has like you see a divine being who has lost themselves in their purpose.
Mm.
Clatter is the god of the long dead, but he is also the god of the long gone but not forgotten.
Hmm.
And you get the sense that he has maybe misguidedly used this opportunity to make sure that people aren't forgotten about.
Okay.
And he sort of continues to sort of deflect and talk about this, and it's hard to get him back on topic. Uh, and I think finally, when he realizes that, there's a moment where he goes, "Wait, you people out there don't like what we're doing? Do they have any idea what they could be gaining from this? I mean, what are you trying to say?"
I again look around to the assembled peoples. I think the Thicket doesn't want to speak for everyone. Knows that he can't speak for everyone.
I was just about to say that I do think Rita like steps forward. I think I don't know what exactly the framing of this is, but I have been imagining the other three just sort of standing behind your chair, uh, like like you are like our Yeah, looming. We are all looming behind you. I bet Rita, big arms crossed. I think Rita steps forward and is like, "This, th- Thicket's right. This ain't good for anyone but you guys. Anyone but the people already on the top."
And the skeletal face of Clatter sours. Uh, he doesn't have eyebrows, but I imagine he does that thing that cartoon skeletons do, where their like eyes sort of like crease into a frown. And he goes, when I heard you all were coming, I thought that this would be. I thought I was gonna get to hear what a great job we were doing. I had hoped that you being here was a sign that. No, no, you lot do not understand what we're doing here, and I think it's time for you to leave. You say that this is good for the folks on top. Look at the rest of Realis. And he stammers for a bit. 72% of Realis is happy forever, and no one is forgotten about. I can't believe you would go against something like that. And he's going to use a sentence against you. When I speak frankly, I always end a conversation with the weight of my responsibility to crush all doubts. As he's saying this, his like nice guy form seems to be faltering. More of those creatures and formless masses begin to make their way into his personhood. He begins to grow in size as he is sort of like throwing a bit of a tantrum. And I will put that on the sheet. This is platter.
So how big a swing are you guys okay with me taking here?
Are you about to kill my god?
I don't know that will how it will be resolved, but it is a possible outcome.
Many such cases.
Go for it. Listen,
So
if you do, it answers part of my dream, so go for it.
yeah. I'm waiting for the sentence to load in.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
His name's a little
So
cut off there, but the main of stuff
Yeah.
is there.
So
Would
that
anyone like to
feels
attempt to
like
counter the
a-
sentence?
Yeah, it feels like a reality 3 right there. Just looking at like the different clauses and stuff there. So I think I'm going to counter that with my dream to destroy all objects of
Whoa.
worship.
Oh shit.
You can do any of the
Uh,
following. Spend your dream to succeed automatically once and only once in your character's career.
Mhm. Considering this is like large scale, probably wouldn't spend it here. Small scale, this is a one shot. We're not going to see these characters again. We've each got a dream. Like, let's go for it. Yeah, so I'll respond to that with my dream to automatically succeed, and then would like to immediately follow it up with attempting a means and narrative intent of my own.
What are you doing?
So first of all, what does it look like to counter this sentence? Clatter is sort of throwing his, the weight of being the god of the long dead and it being his responsibility to ferry souls through the cycle and to make sure that no one gets forgotten about,
Mhm.
to sort of end this conversation and force you to leave.
I think me countering it and me responding with a means of my own are they look like me doing the same thing. So could I narrate that and then
Let's see it.
so I think that yeah. So Clatter says, "No one is forgotten. You just don't understand," And I think Fault is going to step forward and say, there are mothers who've experienced their children die over and over and over, reliving the same experience, the same loss, until it isn't quite the same loss anymore. Until some part of them, even while on cycle, knows that this feels familiar, feels how it should be in some ways. It becomes droll, dry, vacant. There are people out there who see their children die and feel almost nothing because they've seen it happen 1,000 times before. Nobody is forgotten, but so many of them matter less than they did when it's reliving the same things over and over. Grief is not just a singular experience of remembrance, it is a process and time and movement forward. You are taking that from people. And if that is what being the Herald of the Long Death means, I believe that we are better off without you. And the means that I'm using here is the bond to Thicket. I will prove to Thicket that the gods can and should die, and I would like to spend my token and hone that to push up to Reality 2 temporarily.
What?
Hell yeah. First off, latter sentence, struck through. Using a dream to counter a reality 3 sentence, you completely obliterate his argument and sort of reveal that he has lost his, maybe what he once originally was divine for. What is your dramatic intent when using the bond?
Yeah. I don't think that Fault picked up on the on the Clatters saying this as someone who seems to have lost something very dear to them. I don't think Fault got that. I think that was something that Thicket had because they have this relationship with Clatter. But it might evoke some of that in the way that grief is not a singular event; it's a process of moving forward. But yeah, my narrative intent for this is I will get to at the minimum stop Clatter from doing what they are doing, to cause them to doubt and hesitate, and at least put things on pause until we can finish going through the rest of these pillars. To go, is this right or not? Let me hold on for confirmation from the others. If they can no longer believe in themselves, maybe they'll look to other people. And I don't know if this is doubling up or whatever, but if that drive them to relinquish the position entirely or to leave things behind and reconsider or be like, I will actively support what you guys are doing now. And also just to show to Thicket that this god, this being that they had looked up to and followed for so long and believed in, had taken that faith and that purpose to do something terrible that actively went against what they believed that they were supposed to be doing. That if they can make mistakes to this degree of the aspect and domain they are supposed to be most important, most representative of, why trust them at all? To hone the bond, I think I will make it. I'll prove to Thicket that the gods can and should die, if they have forgotten their purpose.
Oh. Clatter has returned to full mythic form, and focuses on his eyes on you, Thicket, and then goes, much to consider.
That could still be countered by Clatter or by anyone else there. It is a Reality 2 sentence, but it is the aggressor, so it could be countered by another Reality 2 sentence, by a dream, etc. I don't want to just say, and that's where it sits, because I believe there's absolutely room to counter Fault's argument and means here.
Yeah. What I will do this. I will reveal another one of Clatter's sentences. He will not be able to use it, and perhaps it'll be obvious as to why. Can I edit this? Yes. Lines. And then we'll highlight that, do text wrap. Okay, cool. While in my sanctum, I always control souls that have stagnated in the cycle. And maybe you can feel a bit of this, like, divine authority wash over you. But he cannot use this sentence in this moment, because you have no longer stagnated in the cycle. Somehow, on your journey, through your dreams, you have broken free of whatever control that these folks have over you. And once Clatter sees that, they slump and they go, I might not understand, but perhaps there is room for something else. Makes a loud grumble and then maybe like removes themselves from the conversation back into the mist, like, oh man, I may have gotten a bit of this wrong. But it seems like your words have had some effect.
What is Thicket's response to Fault doing and saying this, both like internal and also what would Fault recognize?
So I think that internally, Fault doesn't disagree with like large parts of what you said. I think that externally you can see that. I think that there is a like calmness that like washes over them, like a relief. Immediately, like their posture like softens and their shoulders drop. But I think they look at Clatter going into the mist, and what they see for a moment isn't a divine being, but it's just a creature that is hurting. And Thicket's main role in community is to provide some kind of spiritual counsel to people. It's provide some kind of like benefit and reassurance most often. Um, and so I think that I want to realize my sentence. I always know the rituals of the faiths. Um, and I'm going to say I always know the rituals of the faiths that leave someone better than you found them. So things that are intended to heal or like provide some kind of comfort. I'm going to say also that are supposed to leave someone better than you found them. And I think that what Thicket does really quickly is he just says, if you all would like to continue, I will need a quick moment here and then I will follow after. And just takes out some components for a ritual. And I think this is specifically a like morning ritual. Like when you have an important thing with the long dead is to remember them, of course, but it is also to recognize that they are no longer with us and that the life that they lived was important in its finite nature, right? And that there is space for other beautiful things, and that all the beautiful things that filled their life were because of like other people letting go and giving them space and being able to live in this constantly changing world. And that death is one of those changes, right? And that whether you're remembered or forgotten, it is fundamentally about like continuing to exist in a changing world, and to allow that change to impact others and to allow yourself to be impacted by others. And so I think that just for Clatter, whether they are here still or not, um, I think it just does a small morning ritual because it's clear that they are grieving something. I think it's just going to do this. You guys can continue onward if you like. I think it will join you later.
I think Rita is like, that's very kind of you, Thicket. I do have to get a move on now, though. I do gotta go. I gotta go talk to some other. I gotta go talk to some people.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fine. All the rituals of the pulmonary embolists take about 15 minutes, so it shouldn't take that long.
That's quite a fast ritual. All right, I'll see you on up ahead. Y'all coming with? Looking at the other two.
I will come with and proceed on to our next destination, but I'll just leave some parting words of quote unquote good advice, or whatever Fault has got going on with Thicket, that your faith is bigger than any god. Do not let them hold you back. But kind gestures say more about you than they do the target.
A smile, like ear to ear, but like no teeth, You're very kind. And just proceeds to do the ritual.
Yeah, what I did to Clatter was very kind. Very generous. Very, very,
It's
No
How
way.
about
A
that?
manner of
Pathetic,
speaking,
really.
perhaps.
Listen, sometimes people need to let go.
Damn.
Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is being a little bit mean. Or a lot bit mean.
And once the three of you leave Thicket to his ritual, Venture is out there to meet all of you. If you remember, he had hidden away a little camera to make sure he quote unquote got the whole story, as was advised. And he's standing outside of the sanctum, complete, and his posture is slack and shell shocked. What did you guys do in there? Complete and utter disbelief washing over his entire body.
Weren't you watching? We can give an interview later if needs be, but I believe we're on a schedule for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have really messed up what we got going on in here. And then there's like a vibration from his like suit pocket, and he puts his hand over his chest and goes, "Yeah, there's someone who wants to speak with you." Is the cleric coming with you guys?
In a sec. Yeah, catch up.
Big sigh. All right. Well, I guess it's time you guys met the boss man. And he just puts his hands in the pockets and skulks off. And leads you to Impending's sanctum.
Can we at least say
I imagine
that
this
off
is...
screen, Rita got to have a really cool like face-off against Celine, and like it went really well.
But yeah, I think there might still be time for that. I maybe so Thicket catches up, and Venture is leading you guys to the top of the stairs, and Venture climbing the stairs just stopped abruptly and goes, Here we go with this. As Teedling, Frozen Current, is going to attempt to use a sentence against you guys.
Is it some kind of offensive sentence that maybe someone with a shield would be really good against?
Someone with perhaps a large shield.
Always freeze others into their fate.
Ooh.
And you recognize a familiar sheet of ice that covered the frozen suzerainty begin to creep up from where you're standing on the steps up your body.
Is that to everyone, or?
Yes, this is to the whole group. Tiddling's dramatic intent is to keep you from reaching Impending's observatory.
Okay. Huh. Gamers, what level of reality sentence do we think this is?
I think
It
this is only
feels like-
0, maybe 1.
Yeah, it couldn't be higher than 1.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
1 might be the into their fate bit, but
I think I have a sentence that I think can counter this. Which is I always have the determination to continue. You know, how can you freeze me in place if I simply keep walking?
This is you, like, your boots beginning to freeze up, and then you just step out, shattering the ice.
And then probably, like, you know, if other people behind me are freezing, I'm like, you know, helping kick off their feet a little bit, like, all right, guys, come on, we gotta keep moving.
we show up at Impending's office with Rita just carrying the rest of us just in her arms.
We're just holding our hands.
Cheerleading pyramids going on.
And I think there's not a section on the actions and brief for realizing a sentence, is there? Okay. I think that as a precaution, I'm going to realize my sentence. I always have the determination to continue. To something like, I always have the determination to continue when faced with
Once a sentence is primed, it can be realized. This can be done at any time except during the exact moment of comparison between opposing sentences during a conflict.
Yeah. And this is before that, because you haven't revealed that sentence's reality yet.
Ooh. All right, that's a good point. Sorry. Continue on.
Yeah, I was like, you know, it's the same, like, in the token spending window. Yeah, so I think it's something like, I always have the determination to continue when I want to say something like, after my friends do something really sick.
When inspired by those around me?
When inspired by those around me? Yeah, that's a great way to put that.
Hell yeah.
Rita
yeah.
chugging through this ice and being like, I can't let Fulton Thicket show me up.
Yeah. I got my own
always
personal
know when it
demons.
That's so funny.
Alright, yeah. And so this is, you know, Rita using the shield, hacking them out of the ice, making sure everyone can keep moving. You know, that's That's my action there.
Right on. Do you want to spend your token?
I don't think so. I think my level 1 sentence is good enough.
All right. Then I will reveal Tidaline's reality 1 sentence and strike it through. Again, counters 1 ties, countering a reality 1 sentence with a reality 1 sentence, you succeed. Breaking the ice, shattering. Venture seems like, sees you taking action and kind of like steps back and is like, I'm just gonna let them handle this.
Uh-huh.
And then at the top of this marble staircase, you see Tidaline's frozen figure. She once the Knight Naturalis of Ocean, having given up her position to try and make a play to sort of usurp the suzerainty and assist in the cycle, she has taken on this new form, and I think she looks to you and says, I left you alive once, and then looks to the broken sword at your hip. I will not make that mistake again. And makes another attempt to use a sentence against you.
Okay.
Man, it's such a shame that with everything being on cycle, even if you killed us, we'd still come back.
It would just be normal. You'd just do it again. Much to consider.
It's almost like your plan has flaws. Weird.
Hey, nobody's perfect. And she reaches her arm to the side of her, where some of the light from Realis is shining in, and grabs onto that light and freezes it in midair, forming a spear, and just hurls it at you. I always use the frozen light of Realis as a weapon.
Oh shit.
Do we think? Do we think this is 1 or 2? Because I have a pitch maybe, but
it's
I don't
for
know if it'll
sure
work.
at least 1. I don't know
Yeah.
about
2. Yeah. Because my thought here is to hone I always wield a spectral or elemental power to I always wield a spectral or elemental power as a shield or in defense. Also kind of narratively leaning on our bonds, but an inversal of that was my thought. But that would only get that to level 1. So I don't
You
know
could
if that's
also
good
realize your I always frighten those who perceive me.
I can't because we're comparing. Right? This is the one moment where I couldn't realize.
So it's the moment of comparison means when. So right now we don't know the reality of that sentence. It's after that sentence's reality has been revealed. That's the moment where you can't realize anymore or spend your tokens, that kind of thing.
So I could realize this one.
Yeah, you could realize it and then say, this is what I'm putting forward as defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good thought on realizing that one, but the other is my pitch. I just don't know if people think it's level 2 or someone has a better thought. But that's my thought. That is also interesting narratively
You could theoretically
to me.
realize it and then immediately hone it to get up to level 2.
Yeah.
Or we could just have Realis use the level 1 sentence and then spend the token.
I have a different similar pitch. You could use our bond. So my bond for you is I knew them before they became how do you say it?
Quintessent.
Quintessent, I will fight to protect who they are now. Your bond with me is Rita still sees the old version of me. I won't let that view hold me back. Because you were talking about this as like an inverse of that bond. And I believe that when you are using a bond as a means, the other person can spend a token as well.
But I don't think I can hone a bond. So
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah. It's a means. Let me
Yep.
double check though.
Boost the rank of your means for the session.
Yeah.
Honing a sentence. Okay. I see. Okay. So I could hone it and you could add a token if we're leaning on that. But
It could be something like let me tab back over.
yeah, how do we how does honing a bond sentence work? Because these are slightly different than the class sentences when it comes to like phrasing.
You still add like a limitation because there's like the action part of the bond, right? Which is I won't let that view hold me back, right? So that's where you would add like some sort of limitation. It could be something like, and when Rita needs protecting, I won't let that view hold me back. Or, when Rita overextends herself, I won't let that view hold me back. Or, I won't let that view hold me back outside of Rita's gaze. That type of thing.
Yeah. I think maybe because this is leaning on that like you do still see me as that like old, what was it, soldier prince whatever vibes. Maybe this is like won't let me like hold me back from what needs to be done. Like if I like in a I don't let it hold me back from like if I do wind up like being that old self that I don't. Ugh, I'm wording this weird. But like, if what needs to be done is me being that old self, that also won't get held back. I guess is maybe the phrasing I'm thinking. Because this is a more
I don't know
like
that
military.
that's like
I'm defending kind of thing. I don't know.
a limitation.
Yeah. I guess that my thought was a limitation in like when it can be used, but that makes sense.
Oh, maybe. Oh, I see. So you're saying like when being your old self would be helpful, you won't let that view hold you back from being your old self? I see. I feel you.
I think so. So then it
Um,
only applies like when I am
maybe.
acting as that old self, or
Yeah. I don't know exactly how to phrase that, but how does that idea
or
sound to the rest of the table?
or maybe it's just a more simple won't let it hold me back like in crisis. So like this is only like a fighting sort of thing and not like a
Oh,
at other
sure.
points I am still held back. Maybe that's the simpler way to approach this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially for a hone.
That's probably, especially for a hone, I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
But
I really
yeah.
like making it in crisis. I feel like
Okay.
that's always a really good one to lean on.
Yes.
And I would consider this a critical moment. I think, I didn't get I sort of forgot to reveal Tidaline's intent. But yeah, I think she is trying to keep you from reaching the top of the staircase to a permanent end.
To a permanent end.
Her goal is to make the stairs real slippery, so we kind of just like slip and hit our heads on them.
Some Scooby Doo shit happens to us.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I think I am leaning on that
And I
bond
am,
to defend you.
and I am willing to spend my token. What are you doing?
I
Like
think
physically?
ooh, I have to, yeah, I have to reflavor this because I had my original pitch had been with the like the spectral or elemental power, which is I'm leaning on the bond now instead. Um. So I think this is just because you're being attacked with frozen light, and I have described myself as like this weird oil slick ghost thing that can be like tangible at times. Maybe this is just uh reset stepping in front of you as to like
Ooh.
absorb this essentially.
Okay. Um.
Um,
All right. That's our defense. Does it work?
and maybe
All
the
right.
flavor of your
So
token is like that you have knowledge of this, so
Oh.
maybe you have some
Oh.
insight onto like how I can do that better kind of thing or something.
is that what the
Maybe.
token
Like
looks like?
maybe you're shouting something at me about it. I don't know.
I think
That's
it's
my
actually
pitch.
that like you do this and like assuming it works. Rita is trusting you that it's gonna work and is just gonna push ahead. Like is trusting
Yeah,
that Reset's got my back and I'm gonna just rush through Reset to try to get Titeline.
yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna tab over
So,
to the
honed
next
bond plus token, making it a reality 2 sentence.
Hmm.
Yes.
I will reveal Titaline's reality 2 sentence. I always use the frozen light of
Hey!
Realis
Oh.
Nice.
as a weapon.
So
I'll
as
strike
of
it
Oh,
there
I
was
down.
clearly
bet.
one. Was it the frozen bit or of
Yeah, I
Realis was
bet
the other
frozen
bit?
is an additional one.
Hmm.
Because I bet it was. I always use the light of Realis and then frozen and then as a weapon or something.
I think it's I always use the light of Realis and then weapon is the second limiter, right? You have to
Well,
have the
yeah,
light of
but
Realis and then it has to be a weapon. It can't be like a tool.
and then it also has to be frozen because it's a reality 2 sentence.
No, that's two limitations. That would make it reality too. I don't know that frozen
Well,
is a
it starts at
limitation as
0,
much as
right?
an adjective.
Yeah. Anyways, but it would start at 0, so it needs. Anyways, we're overthinking this. Let's
Yeah.
Uh,
we need
I
to dissect it.
yeah, I'm not at liberty to divulge any of that information.
uh,
But it is countered and it is marked. And I think we get a scene of you Reset stepping forward into this like the spear of frozen light, and then we get a few like flash frames. We get an image of it being the different knights naturalis. In one frame, it's a just a huge boulder flying at you. In another, it is like a you know horizontal tornado or a giant bolt of lightning. Um, and in all of them, you grab it out of the air, and it just melts into oil paint.
yeah. Sick.
Oh yeah.
And then falls to the like steps, and immediately begins like spreading.
Can I as Reset has sort of protected me here. Um, can I rush straight for Titeline and um like shield out um and punch them. I don't have a
Hell
sword.
yeah!
Sword's broken. You know what I got? Two guns right here. Flex. I'm flexing in real life. And
Are you using a sentence?
sure. I I have half a mind to use my dream here. I will protect the world of that which rots it from the inside out. I feel like giving up your nightly post to work for the idea of stagnation is the rot from the inside out. At least as far as Rita thinks of it. Um,
Uh, Before we commit to a sense, I do want to ask, what's the dramatic intent here? Is it just
Yeah,
to,
I
like,
was about to
not
say.
knock her unconscious? Should I remove her, like put her on our side?
I think it's much simpler, which is my dramatic intent is to clear the way, right? It is let
Yeah.
all my allies get through this scene without having to worry about anything from behind, you know? Um, Something like rushing up, getting into this scrape and saying like, all right, you all go on ahead. I'll hold it here. Um, but I don't know if that's dream worthy. Um, Maybe I'll use. I always wear the distinguished shield of my the distinguished shield of my past servants in service in defense of another, right? And my
Yeah.
intent
in
here
defense of
isn't
another.
taking her out. It's just making sure that my friends can get through without being bothered.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe we even get a scene of you like running up to do like a running punch, and then the fist, halting right before Tidaline's flinching face, and then you just standing over her, being like, flexing, being like,
Yeah.
"Move on, I've got this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would have some sentences to try and counter with that, but she kind of already used those.
She kind of already used
And
those.
um, at the top of the game, remember, this universe prizes passivity, except after wisdom gained. We'll see if she gains any wisdom after this encounter. And your sentence goes unchallenged.
All right.
Venture takes note of this. Another, is watching you succeed over and over again, and sort of dismantle maybe some beliefs that he held. But he shrugs, moves past you, and says, "All right, come on. I think we've wasted enough. Of my time here."
We'll circle back around to Tidaline to have a proper discussion later, but probably best not to keep the head honcho waiting.
Yeah, she's like on the ground, probably like propped up against one of the steps, just like heavy breathing, heavy exhausted breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid to make eye contact with you, Rita.
I'm not even. I'm not gonna say anything. I think we all get moving.
Hell yeah. And you make it. There's a set of double doors that are shaped like hands, and
It's
Venture
happening
goes,
again.
it'll make more sense when you meet him.
If
But
this is the third game I'm in today that has some kind of hand related nonsense.
Hands, 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 hands.
it's a good image, okay? I'm sorry. I work with what I got. Looks at my two hands. And then I think Venture says, "Good luck," or whatever. He kind of leans against a nearby wall and motions you guys in. The double hand doors swing open, and there is, this is like a observatory / library. There's a bunch of strange, archaic mechanisms twittering and moving about. There seems to be one large one that appears to be like absorbing the light of Realis that Agnum is standing next to. And he's turned away from you, looking out at, the Realis itself. And he says, "I knew you would get here eventually. I've seen this happen countless times. The Gryke-haunted mechanic, the time-obsessed blood witch, the divorced tchotchke sorcerer and snake-bitten outlaw. Here at the end... And he turns to you.
So am I the snake-bitten outlaw, or would that be you, Rita?
I feel like
In
I might be a
another-
tchotchke seller.
Another face of complete and utter disbelief.
Does that make
the figure
reset
turns
witch?
around.
It's close enough, maybe. We're all just
figure turns
deciding who
around.
we kin here in this moment, in this middle of this monologue.
Tall guy. He's wearing this sort of like beautiful Technicolor robe that has that effect that I love, where when he moves, it's as if his like clothing is a window to a background color or palette. If anyone knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where like he moves, but his like design seems to merely shift over a different background. I don't know the name of this effect, but the best example I can give is it happens a lot in Chowder.
I was literally about to say. I'm like, yeah, it's the chowder effect.
Yeah, they do this all the time in that cartoon, and I love it. It always sort of like freaks my eyes out and makes me go, whoa, that looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that sort of effect. And when he turns to you, it's revealed that his figure, imagine that your skin was sort of tessellated with the outline of a bunch of hands overlapping each other. Also matching the like Technicolor of his robes. And he looks at you with an absolutely flabbergasted look and goes, Who are you? Clearly not expecting any of you. Expecting someone, but not you.
Where the many such cases?
His
Surely you've
expression
heard
does
of
not
us.
change.
Your-
Still
your-
wildly
your-
confused.
Your lackey has been following us and recording our exploits. Is that the word, exploits?
Yeah.
For quite some time. Did it never cross your desk? Have you gotten so lazy, so casual in this endless world you've created that you decided anything was beyond your interest because you already knew it all?
Venture has been leaning against one of the doors that have stayed open, and Agnum looks to him with a look of like, what the hell, guy? And he has a flat expression and just sort of shrugs and goes, you might want to listen to what they have to say.
What do they have to say?
He was referring to you guys.
Oh! What do you,
We have a quick huddle to make sure we're all on the same page of who's being referred to with these pronouns.
Venture rolls his eyes. Like, I can't believe it.
But you love us anyway.
I think in this moment.
Yeah, and
Rita-
Agnum is currently on the back foot. Giving you guys an opportunity to like do something or make a case here.
This
The
is Rita
fact
looking
that-
to Thicket and Fault.
Can I give a brief intro to whatever pitch you want to make?
I don't have a pitch. I'm saying Rita is waiting for you to give the pitch.
All eyes look to Fault in this moment.
Oh, great, thanks. My dream's gone, guys. I've kind of.
I don't know.
Um,
Oh no, you're the icon.
That's so true. Am I garnering affection right now? Is it happening?
I think so.
The fact that we are here at all means that your plan is already flawed. Why not talk with us and find a better future moving forward, instead of trying to stay in something that is already clearly broken?
Are you using a sentence?
I think it makes sense. I think I'll get countered, but yeah. I've had this in mind for a little bit. I think I'm going to realize the I always garner affection to be specifically I always garner affection from my enemies.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Because that's what I've been doing this entire time is like speaking to people who I'm technically at odds with and going, let's find a different way. Let's work something out. Uh, so I think I will realize that to be a level 1 sentence. And I don't have a token, so I'm just going to use that. But yeah, I'm trying to say, like, we are here to bargain. We have proved to you that whatever plan you thought you had in place is not working correctly. Let's try something new.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess my narrative, my dramatic intent here is for him to begin dialogue with us to decide what each side wants and what compromise we can reach.
Oh,
Doesn't have to agree with us,
interesting.
just enter into sincere dialogue.
Um, in that case, I don't have a sentence that can counter that.
Many such cases.
So catching Agnum on the back foot, this works. And I think he just goes further I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There has been a misunderstanding or something. I apologize for not greeting you personally. No, there will be. Well, I suppose. I. And then looking to Venture again for something. Venture's left. Venture's gone, leaving Agnel
Abandoned
completely
by the
alone in this
side
moment.
piece, a tragic fate.
And
He's our side piece
his
now,
entire figure just sort of like slumps and goes, all right. I should probably take care of this. Okay. And then claps his hands together, and you can feel the palace begin to like rumble.
just the normal two
And
hands clapping, or are there any other weird ones?
no, yeah, he hasn't done anything weird with his hands. He just looks a little strange.
uh, what does take care of this mean? I think that's in character.
And when he steps out of his observatory, it's revealed that there is a like huge auditorium that the horizon of events has shifted into. Um, and he goes, "All right, let's make this quick. I I apparently I have uh, previous obligations that we'll get here eventually. Um, but in this moment, yes, sure, conversation. Let's go." And he sort of like um, mundanely is just like walking down the steps of a giant like marble amphitheater. And um, yeah, the way I see this going, I kind of want to zoom out here. We're getting sort of close to the end of our time, but uh, I think this is the band's chance to make their case and shake things up. Um, what do you have an idea of what this conversation will look like?
I mean, I think it's a conversation we should all approach together, working together,
To discover
and
something, maybe?
maybe. Uh, but I do think it's something where like we've come here like as a group of people, right? And I think it's important to recognize like the breadth of that group, and so I think we shouldn't be like, let's nominate a representative. I think it's like, no,
Yeah.
I think we all have something important to say here.
Uh, I've been saying and doing a fair amount. So I think the one thing I will do for this and let you guys kind of go and make your own cases is that Fault will try and emphasize that, like, as you're saying, we are here as a group, and we are here because we are the ones who've been lucky enough to have the time, the connections, the opportunities to arrive here in front of you and present this case. We each have our own stories, our own reasons for being here, our reasons for wanting something better than how things currently stand. But regardless of how this goes, besides the dust-covered outlaw, the tchotchke seller, the witch, and the other one, besides us four who are here today, I would like you to know, Mr. Agnum, whatever the last name was. Hold on. Scrolling.
Impending. I should probably put his
Impending,
name up
thank
here
you.
somewhere.
Mr. Agnum Pending, that besides us who are here today, those who care about this world want to see it better and improved and are fighting to create a better world for those and those around them. There are many such cases.
Oh,
Ugh.
I love a
That's
title
quite
drop.
good.
Been holding on to that one for the past 6 hours.
Really quickly
6
make
hours.
this like
Beautiful.
a bigger font. There we go.
Yeah, that
Many.
is Fault's contribution to this to this dialogue.
Many such cases.
I think that's a swell contribution, personally.
So what is this? Sorry, I couldn't make the comma small again. What is the who wants to make the first pitch? I can start because I do think Rita's is like the weakest one.
Okay.
That way we can we can build up. Um, I think that Rita. So okay. So we're in like a theater, right? Are we on the stage and is it Magnus or Magnum?
Magnum.
And right,
UM.
Magnum. And Magnum is in the audience. Is Magnum on the stage, and we're in the audience? Are we both on the stage? What's the blocking?
I would say blocking is that Magnum is on stage and he is given space for you to speak.
Also
Something
on the
like
stage.
mock trial kind of situation.
Yeah, I imagine that this amphitheater is filled with frozen suzerainty, but also the other pillars you've been speaking to. Venture is here. The slumped figure of Titeline, you know, in one of the top rows of this like makeshift auditorium. Clatter is here with a, you know, what is, I think it's just popcorn in his like casual form.
Maybe ice cream
He's
for
got
the
some
new
like
depression
popcorn
they
he's
have.
munching on. What?
Maybe ice cream for the depression they have now.
Just like
Maybe they
he's
had it
got
before.
he's got the full ice cream container that he's just got like a big spoon with.
All right. I think Rita's pitch is she takes the stage and says, and then she says, she opens her mouth and blinks her eyes, and she says, I think, hello everybody. My name is Rita Tadita. I used to be a knight. Actually, I don't know how many of you recognize me. I used to work under Titeline herself. I was a knight of the Leo Suzerainty. And I think that we I think that we should let things progress Um, I'm not really good with my words. I'm in front of a crowd. I must be honest with you. Um, but I've seen the pain wrought over and over again, and I have, in fact, you know, I'm a big knight with a big shield. I've protected many people from the same things over and over again. Um, and it's not worth it, you know? That's anyway, that's my argument. Thank you all for attending.
Polite applause.
should I should I use a means?
And it seems our fair knight is tired of protecting and tired of saving, which is why I have fought to cycle the system so that there are many others like you out there who will never have to fight again.
Well, yeah, but like, there's definitely still lots of fighting, right? We can't get to a better situation because nothing's changing. It's a big cycle, all resets. Can't actually get to a better world, can we? Hands on hip.
I think Agnum lets your reply hang and waits for someone else to speak.
Damn. Okay. I'll fuck myself.
I think Thicket will jump in, and just we have heard a lot of arguments today about how the conservation of the status quo of the current state of things is best for the is best for most people. However, one may argue, looking out at the world, that even if people are in a moment of bliss, that is not the truth of life. That in fact, chasing after a everlasting bliss ignores the reality that is most of life is not bliss all the time. It is work and struggle and hardship and grief. And his eyes dart over to Clatter upon saying that last bit. And there is certainly a lot of joy within it. But by trapping some people in these moments that they will never be able to escape of hardship, of pain and loss, and subjecting others to a particular kind of joy subtracts all the nuance in life. If all that mattered was everyone being as happy as possible all the time and never working towards anything better, towards more happiness for more people, then all we would be conserving is stagnation. That happiness would never have a chance to be greater. It would never have a chance to reach more people. And many people would not even realize the value that comes from that because they would be experiencing nothing else.
I think Agnum's response to this is to say, well, I understand your point about folks, not reaching potential and whatnot, but I will assure you that I have done the simulations and the calculations. And he begins to reach into the light of Realis and basically weave it into a bunch of stat sheets and simulations to uphold his argument that
My guy, that sourcing is not going to stand up to peer review if you pull it out of light like that.
Well, yeah, but he's about as close to a king as you can get in Realis. And
Actually, would we know is Agnum impudence? Nope. Impending is
impending,
Agnum
that's a
impending
really funny one.
a radiance?
He is
Okay.
the only one that a very like one of the more, I guess, like well-known radiants. He sort of when this initially came to be, he sort of advertised that this was all thanks to his ability to bend Realis to his will.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Gotcha,
sort of
just
doing
confirming.
this to make stat sheets and simulations to like uphold his argument that not only can the system, not only is the majority of the system at peace and happy, but it will never get any better than this point. And is using like extremely pessimistic simulations to show what might happen if stagnation were to let up and possibility resumes its flow.
Can I use a class sentence really quickly?
Yeah. Sorry. And all that is to say is that he's using a sentence,
Okay.
giving folks a chance to counter. He's using the sentence, I always shape the light of Realis into the tools I need to ensure the cycle.
Ooh.
That's gotta be 3.
Feels like 3, yeah.
So I think I could get it to a 2.
Sorry, hold on. Is this sentence all of these? Oh wow. Okay, that's a big sentence.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I also revealed that because Agnum tried to use that when you first met him, and he couldn't because
Yeah.
those he doesn't meet those specifications anymore.
Mm. Hmm. Also, I think you misspelled his name.
Oh, is it Magnum or Agnum? Because here it's Agnum.
Agnum, there is no M.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
Oh.
think I just misheard
We all thought it
at
was
the
Magnum the whole
beginning.
time, I think.
God.
Yeah.
So I knew it would get cleared up eventually. So I was just willing to move on, and it was funny. So
I always shape the light of Realis into the tools I need to ensure the cycle. So yeah, so that's, I think the 0
yes.
is I always shape the light of Realis. And then into the tools I need is 1 level, and then to ensure the cycle could be another level. So that actually feels like it could be a 2 to me.
I could also see it being, though, I always shape the light of Realis into the tools I need to ensure the cycle, making it a +3.
Yeah.
I think it's a 2, personally.
I think we could lean on if we have
Hone and
bonds that
token.
fit. I feel like either hone and token or using a bond and honing and tokening that if no one has 2 on their own. You could hit 3. Wait, no, that hits 2, never mind.
The only person who has the only person who has a token left is Thicket.
Am I the only one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then I think using a bond or a class sentence doesn't actually change much here. Logistically.
If I follow the moon's impulse to decide someone's fate and shoot someone in the audience, would that count against my token? If I pull out a Glock,
I would call that a tragic success, leading the bond deeper into trouble, which would recharge your token.
Wow.
Just-
I think that's a
just
bad
checking,
idea.
just-
Can I just say rhetorically, I think that one's a bad move.
Has anyone done something already that is their spheres words thing?
Spear's impulse.
Because we could have, thank you. Because if we've leaned into impulses already, that might have reset someone's. I know mine is ritualistic means, so I don't think I got anything for that one, but
mine respond to a private problem through public means, and this is a very public setting, but I think this is also a public problem. because we're
Mhm.
trying to decide the fate of Realis here, so I don't think it qualifies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to
Mine,
bat.
mine isn't.
Oh, go
Yeah.
on.
Mine isn't particularly relevant because I still have a token. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because you can't have 2 tokens.
I'm gonna go up to bat for reset. Um, I feel like being a ghost shield to an ice spear is responding to an urgent problem with ritualistic means. Ghost rituals.
Specifically in the character playbooks, it says that the ritualistic means that you are something that is an immediate problem, like a crisis right now. You take the time to prepare and do a longer thing for it. That's what the ritualistic part refers to.
Mm,
Shit.
yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Them
So that
damn
one's pretty hard
writers.
to reset in theme. Gotcha. Good to know for future games.
If anyone has a bond with Thicket they could use, then Thicket could spend their token, or just Thicket could just spend his token with one of his own things. But I think it's gonna be tricky to get up to a +3 unless we use a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right. We
do
have
still have
dreams
my
left.
dream.
We have dreams left.
So many dreams left.
Everyone's dream except for mine.
I I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put my chips on the table. I think this is a +2 sentence because Tahidaline's sentence was only +2, and it also had the frozen light of Realis. Well, it was frozen. It's, light of Realis, right?
Yeah.
So I think that this is a +2 sentence. It's the light of Realis into tools to ensure the cycle, right?
I will say I could get one of mine up to a 2 using a token and a hone because I haven't honed yet. I could also use my dream, which I do feel like is fairly relevant here because basically this guy's being like, hey, this is as good as it gets. This is the best it could ever be. And in fact, if we don't do this, it'll get worse. I think that the response to this could be like, actually, the truth is no. And that does seem like a thing that would give people comfort, is like, hey, if we try something new, it won't destroy everything. I think is kind of a comforting notion.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should go for it. Let's as the good saying goes, get off the boat.
Let's just rip it. So I think that Thicket looks at these like charts, right? These projections, which the shape of them, I don't know if that's super important, right? I think grabs at the light, realizes that Thicket, for all the whispers they hear from countless demons, is not a mystical creature, right? Is just a person, and looks at Agnum and says, "You hold a great fear in your heart. You worry constantly for others, and that in itself is not an ignoble pursuit. But to do so to the detriment of others, to the detriment of the world, to the detriment of your community, at the end of the day, the only constant is change. To say that you know the course of the future based on events that have passed, and say that you know better than those around you, that no one else could possibly be more correct, denies the fact that new things occur every day, and that new ways of life, new ways of living are constantly occurring. And at the end of the day, nothing stays the same, nothing persists forever. And even this stagnation would one day fall. Even this stagnation would one day stop. And all that we seek to do is ensure that we head on a better path. Not even a better path, that we head on a path that we all get to dictate rather than just one or just a small group do. And then like looks up at the light of Realis and just soaks it in. At the end of the day, the true divinity is what we all come together to do, what we all come together to worship and support. And that may be a god, but that god is simply ideals and bonds that we make to each other and promises that we make to each other. And whether that's in service or not is up for us to decide. Not for you, not for anyone.
Clap, clap, clap,
I
clap,
will
clap, clap,
reveal
clap.
a Reality 2 sentence countered.
There we go. I'm so glad I used my dream. That felt good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Magnum is completely thrown off by this. You know, I think when you walk into his projections, it sort of like disrupts them, and he sort of like loses control of his ability to like shape like what possibilities happen. And hearing your argument, he gets flustered. You know, the color in his face begins to get brighter. And I think he says something to the effect of you know, of course I fear. No, I'm in control. Nothing no longer has to end. That is exactly what I represent. People that are happy stay happy. People that are remembered stay remembered. The majority of the system is experiencing untold levels of peace and prosperity. You can't simply waltz in here and just suggest that things deserve to get changed. And he's using his last sentence. You know, you talked about soaking in the light of Realis. A glass dome at the top of this auditorium opens up, and a flood of light from Realis is let in, almost blindingly so. And he begins to make this grandiose speech that is being heard across the system about fundamentally that the needs of the many and the good of the many supersede the needs of the few. That the people who, you know, are suffering so that the rest of them get to live a better life, you know, he's thankful of that, and they deserve to get to have that honor. I'll be using the sentence: when I am bathed in the light of Realis, the majority will listen to what I say about maintaining the status quo. I have that typed up in a sec, but that's the sentence being used. Does anyone have a counter to it?
In a beautiful world, we could all band together and use the band sentence. Unfortunately, I think that sentence is super duper duper reality 3, and we do not have the ability to use enough tokens to actually get the band sentence to beat that.
Yeah, I've got a token, and that's it.
Yup.
A token and a token, no longer a dream.
Yep.
Some people
I mean,
still
you
have
still
their
have it,
dreams.
it's just crossed.
Yeah.
I have a narrative like I have like a rhetorical counter, but not a means counter.
Yeah. Um,
What are dreams that are left?
yours and mine.
I don't think mine quite works here.
Yeah, it's tough.
What's yours at again?
Mine is extremely relevant, I think.
Well, yeah.
I will protect the world of that which rots it from the inside out. Um,
You consider this rot?
Yeah.
I consider this rot, and I do believe it is coming from the inside to the out. That's just me personally, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know. I'm anti stagnation on a personal level, but like I respect it. That's not true. I don't respect stagnation. Yeah, if you don't have any ideas for what reset would do here, Percy, I can take a stab.
I do not.
guess.
If you would like, go ahead.
Sure. I gotta formulate.
Is it
okay.
possible? Is it possible to, before countering this sentence, use a different sentence to try and get something else or shift the situation, and then counter this one? I'd assume not. I think it's happening right now. We have to counter it.
Not really. I mean, part of the sort of not mechanic of the game per se, but like one of the arguments that the game makes is that the actor gets to make that kind of choice, but is vulnerable to being counteracted upon in that way, right? So because Agnum made that maneuver first, we have to respond in kind.
I was wondering if it would
That is
be
an excellent
possible
way to think about it.
to use the banned sentence to like gain some
Reveal a
information, like
truth.
add more context, and then use like the dream to like count it or something. But it makes sense we have to respond to the currently active sentence being used.
Okay.
I mean, what happens here if we don't succeed on this particular roll?
That's a great question.
Yes,
What's
the
his
dramatic
intent?
intent? The dramatic intent is to get all of Realis on his side. And
That
to make
one's-
your case seem foolish and impotent.
I think that one's bad, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a pretty rough one.
That's
People on the Warhammer 40k moon going, I don't know, he's got a point.
I don't know.
They get to play Warhammer 40k forever.
Okay. I have a dream. I would protect the world of that which rots it from the inside out. I mean, could you give me like a quick nutshell of what his argument, what his thesis was?
His thesis is fundamentally that through magic and technology, he speculated that this is the happiest and the the highest point of a golden era that the Realis system will ever achieve. And he's placed Realis in stasis, the fate and ever-changing nature of Realis in stasis to keep that golden era preserved for eternity.
Got it. Okay. Yeah,
So
I know exactly
what
what
did
this is.
Yeah.
But sorry, what were you about to say, Jack?
No, you go.
Okay. I think that Rita hears that and looks to her friends and is like, I mean, you got those calculations wrong, buddy. If you think that the maximum number of people are already happy, you've clearly never helped anyone. You've never broken bread with someone in a bad spot. You've never helped people on a quest that seems impossible. You've never done anything that matters to anyone. Because if you did, I feel like it would be very easy for you to realize that there cannot possibly be only 72% of people that are happy. That any difference it's easy to make a difference. But you gotta do it. This ain't doing it. This ain't doing nothing. You're just sitting here. You're sitting here talking to a bunch of people who already believe in you. except for us, obviously. Come on. I mean, look at these three, right? I feel like we've gone on this whole adventure, and I feel like, you know, it's been hard, but I'm for sure happier. And I'm not part of your 72%. Did that on my own, with the help of my friends.
Actum huffs and begins to form some sort of argument or response, but there's like a wide sweeping shot of like him set across the background of the audience, and as he realizes that um, what used to be a room of people that already believed what he believed is full of a bunch of people who realize that they've been sitting around and doing nothing, and we're about to continue doing nothing for all of eternity. And I will reveal a level 3 sentence and counter it.
Yippee!
Can I get yippies from the chat?
I think Agnum continues to like try and make a case, pleading, looking to his other pillars, looking to the frozen suzerainty, and pleading for anyone to listen to his, what even now he realizes in hindsight is a silly number, 72% of the Realis system. And it falls on deaf ears. People get up and they leave. And soon, it is just the band and Agnum standing in an empty auditorium lit by Realis. And he looks to you all and says, well, what the hell do we do now?
I think I understand.
As the machine
something.
up in his observatory grinds to a slow, whining, impotent halt. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sorry, I probably stepped on your toes a bit there. I think I understand something. You saw something, whether in Realis or in your own calculations afterwards, that caused you to lose all hope. You lost the belief that things could get better or be improved by relying on other people or hoping in a future or that something would change for the better. You lost that and decided to put it on everybody else as well. That if they couldn't see, if they were foolish enough to believe in a better future, you would save them from themselves and consign them to their happiness, their prison of 72% satisfaction. I can't give you that hope back. I can't erase what you have seen or what you believe. But if you've lost that hope, at least try and believe in ours and that of the people around this universe that still yearn for a better tomorrow. That even if you can't, we can. And I will, looking to the others in the group, I will extend a hand towards Agnum.
Thumbs up from Rita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Reset nods.
I think it does as well.
Yeah. Slow, hesitant, suspicious reach. Technicolor hand slowly and then clasping yours. And then in my mind, credits.
Yay!
As you guys get to decide what Realis looks like from here. Does anybody have any closing thoughts on what a Realis broken from stagnation looks like?
I think it's very important that it's like communally built and not just like we're 4 people in a tower and we get to decide what everything in the world, like the whole point of this is that we thought that wasn't a good idea. you know, that like, hey, if everything stays if four people are in charge of everything, we kind of have the same again. So I think like allowing some level of communal self-determination.
I mean, this is like literally what Rita was talking about, that people gotta help each other, right? And it's, being in the being in your community. I think that's part of the it's people being in their community.
And maybe we do some stuff to like make that easier for people, to like make it a little more achievable to help people out. And like instead of making it better, we just try to make it like simpler for people where we can to like do the
Hell
right
yeah.
things.
Something that I also want to emphasize is like after the stagnation ends and we're no longer on cycle, I think it gets worse first. I think that people had grown used to the repetition somewhat, and people who were then relying on it or had grown inured to it suddenly have to confront that there is a tomorrow, that there is a something after today, and that is scary. And like I do think that their negative responses, and in some areas where things were at that part 70%, it goes downhill for a bit, and then we're there, or the clasp is there, or other people come together to be like, okay, it's going bad right now. How do we stop that, or how do we make it better? But it that to some small extent, Agnem had a point that like this might be the peak, and there is like a decline, and it requires us and others and work to ensure that it goes upwards.
That, I think, concludes Realis. Um, that went better than I could have ever imagined in my wildest dreams. Thank you all for being with me to tell that story.
It's very, very cool. Thank you for putting all the pieces in our path that we then got to kind of walk over with our dreams.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you for
that is
facilitating.
the nice thing about Realis one-shots. You can drive your characters like stolen cars.
Yay, I love stolen cars.
Best kind of car.
You can crash it, no one cares.
And there's already gas in it.
For free. Yeah.
You just gotta
Also,
crash it
thank
before
you.
you need more gas.
That's the trick. Thank you to the audience. Also, please donate to PCRF. We have reached, I was just looking at this, $1,090.67. I'd like to negative shout out whoever did that.
That is
But-
specifically Mick Menno.
Oh my god.
And thank you to Chloe for the $20 since we last shouted people out. Thank you very much.
Yes. And we are gonna hand over to Beam Saber in a sec, so stick around for that.
Max,
Oh,
Max,
yes.
Max.
I'm jelly.
Max. All right. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone. Bye.